everybody, my name is Robin Walsh. I'm a scholar of New Testament and early Christianity, and I'm part of the Bart Ehrman team. Today I want to talk to you about the concept of conversion, and specifically in Paul. I think we have an idea of conversion today, and it makes sense that if you're converting to, say, a new religion, even if you're converting to something like a new diet, you have to completely change your life. It's a wholesale turning from one way of life or one way of looking at the world to another. I don't think that's exactly what's going on with Paul, and it's a little bit anachronistic for us to think in those terms. What Paul actually describes in his letters is not a turn from, say, Judaism to Christianity, a conversion from Judaism to Christianity, or a conversion, some people will use the construction of from law to grace. Those are later ideas. What Paul describes is more like a calling. While he was formerly, he says, pursuing or persecuting people who we would consider Christians, people part of the Jesus movement, and then he realizes that error once he has a vision of the risen Christ. What he then subsequently describes is that he not only realizes his error, but then he realizes that Jesus of Nazareth, the risen Christ, is the predicted Jewish Messiah. And remember, he's a Pharisee. His day job is to interpret the law, the first 5 books of Moses, to interpret Jewish holy scripture. And so he knows that there is a Messiah that has been predicted, that is supposed to come bring God's kingdom on earth. He also knows that as a Pharisee, or at least Pharisees believe that particular Jewish sect in resurrection. So those things come together for him, and what he describes is that he now sees himself as basically one of the prophets. He says that he knows that God had designated him, maybe even before he was born, or probably before he was born, to be almost like a new Jonah. He is tasked with actually heralding this new news, this gospel about Jesus, but also grafting in, he says, he uses this kind of metaphor, a certain number of Gentiles, non-Jews, into what is essentially a Jewish movement. He's not requiring those Gentiles to convert to Judaism, but he tells them that they have a new covenant. And while the Jewish people have their own covenant with the Jewish God, these Gentiles who are joining the fold, they will have their own kind of covenant with the Jewish God as well that involve practices like Eucharist and baptism. So when Paul describes this, again, it's more like a calling or a recognition or a realization of his role in human history, of his understanding of Jewish scripture. And the idea that he's converting to Christianity, I think, therefore, is, again, anachronistic. There is nothing called Christianity quite yet in Paul's era, but there are Jewish people and Gentiles who see Jesus as, again, this resurrected messianic figure. If you would like to talk about this more or hear more about this, delve deeper into some of these topics, I'm actually going to give a talk as part of the Biblical Studies Academy, the BSA, this coming week on Paul and whether he invented Christianity. I think it's going to be a great topic. I'll do a little bit of a presentation and then basically open up to an Ask Me Anything in AMA where we can discuss this issue and other issues around Paul. You can really ask me anything in these forums. So if you want to check that out, go to bartehrman.com/BSA learning. You can sign up. There's always a 14-day trial, but you can also, if you sign up afterwards, see playbacks of my course, my lectures, and that of Bart Ehrman and other notable scholars and experts in the field. So go check out bartehrman.com/BSA learning to learn more about the Biblical Studies Academy and to investigate your interests further. But I hope this has been an interesting video. Let me know your comments, your other questions, and looking forward to hearing from you. Thanks.